Hi guys, welcome to Sense 39. Go ahead and do your journal work, and then let's talk about the sense of language and articulation. Let me read you the whole title. Language and articulation sense used to express feelings and convey information in every medium, from the bee's dance to human stories and literature. So this is one I'm super familiar with and is very interesting to me. So I was a practicing speech pathologist for over 20 years, and I'm no longer practicing, but certainly all of that is just in my bones. And one of the great things about being a speech pathologist is you actually, depending on where you work and who you work with, but in general, you get to help people either develop or remediate how they express themselves, and that can help in so many ways because our culture so highly values both written and verbal language. There's so much weight that goes into that, to the exclusion of many other ways of expression that are just as valid. But in our culture, we happen to value verbal expression and written expression very highly. So if you have an issue with that, being able to remediate that can actually be life-changing, or just helping someone articulate in a way or express themselves in a way that is more in alignment with an expression of truly who they are. So that can be really, really fulfilling, and I did enjoy that part of being a speech pathologist. But obviously, humans aren't the only ones that communicate with language. We just use words as language, where other species don't tend to use words. Trees communicate. This is very much accepted in the scientific community now, and with most, I think, of the general public, that the trees communicate with each other, that plants communicate with each other. Did you know plants actually communicate with each other in several ways, but one of them is sound? We just can't hear them. Isn't that so fascinating? And other animals besides us tend to also use social behavior to communicate, which we also do, of course, which we've talked about before. So this is one that is just such a big deal, and one that most people are tuned into just because of the value that our culture puts on this particular expression. So also, isn't it fascinating that we can read a book? It doesn't even have to be about a real person, right? And we can learn from that book. We can actually experience the experience of the person in, say, a fiction book. I think it's so interesting that we can learn from our dreams. Too, isn't that interesting? Showing that we have this wisdom within us that we don't, in just sort of waking consciousness, normally have access to. And that's one of the things that we're doing here, is tapping into the wisdom of the body, into that knowing, into that GPS that actually can guide us in the ways that are beneficial for us and healing, and beneficial for everyone around us and the entire planet. So there was another thing I wanted to say about this. Let me just sit with it for a second. Wow. I might do a second video for this when it comes back to me, because I had something that I felt was really important to say about this sense. Yeah, I might just do a second video for today. So if that shows up, you'll know what that is. For today's assignment, please engage with wild nature in whatever way you feel attracted to do so. Ask permission and notice what kind of communication is happening. And notice how that communication happens and what it's used for. So isn't it interesting too that for quite a few species that I'm thinking of right now, language can be used deceptively, right? A bird might pretend to have a broken wing to sort of deter a fox, for instance, from finding her babies in the nest. Or a possum might play dead to survive. And I wonder if that's how humans started using language deceptively as well. And I think when we do that, there is some sort of protection involved. It may not be a life or death protection. It may be. You certainly don't want to give someone who's trying to rape you your address, maybe, or who's given you signs that they might not be safe. You don't want to give them your address, so you might just not tell them, or you might tell them a different address. I don't know. We definitely have reasons for protection that we would use our language as in a deceptive way as well. So certainly it can convey feelings and information. It can also convey misinformation as well, and that's super useful too. So it's just not coming to me at the moment, so I may do that second video. And don't forget to journal, and then I will see you on our next sense. Bye.